Study Guide, Math Test number 11. Number 1, the clock shows what time science class begins. School starts at 9 a.m. How much time passed from the start of school to the beginning of science? So this is my stop time. The clock shows 1:50 p.m. This is my start time. So the first thing you want to do is list your whole hours between 9 and 1:50. So so I start with 10, 11, 12, 1, and I stop there because 2 o'clock would go past the 1:50. So that's 4 hours. And then from 1 o'clock to 1:50 is 50 minutes. 4 hours and 50 minutes. The following scores were earned on spelling tests. Create a stem and leaf and then find the mode. I look to, first of all, determine what my stems are. Those are the numbers in the tens place. And I see 6, 7, 8, and 9. So I'm going to put a 6, 7, 8, and 9. And then I'm going to put my ones numbers here. So I've got a 65. I'll put a 5 here. And then a 70 and a 75. And then I've got 80. And it looks like I have 2 85s and a 90 and a 95. So I've created the stem and leaf, and now find the mode. The mode is the number that appears the most. Remember, mode, most. I see all these 5s, but remember that they're with different stems, so they're different numbers. But I do see 2 5s here in the 8 stem, so my mode is 85 because 85 appears twice. Look at the data. Notice that I've arranged the data from least to greatest. You want to do that when you have a data set. Find the mean. The mean is the average, so we want to add all of these up. When you add them up, you get 119. And there are 7 digits, so you divide 119 by 7. And if you do that, you'll find that the mean is 17. Find the median. The median is a number in the middle. There are 7 numbers in the data set. That's an odd number, so I know I will have a number in this data set that represents the median. So let's go to the middle, crossing out the ends as I work toward the middle, and that leaves me 15. So the median is 15. Myra decided it was time to plant her garden. The outside temperature on the day she planted was most likely. So you want to put your benchmark temperatures, and I know that when you're planting, you want the temperature outside to be spring-like because people plant in the spring. So I chose room temperature as my benchmark temperature, so I'm looking for something that would work. That's too cold, way too hot. Too cold, so that leaves 25, which is slightly above room temperature, so slightly above this. Number 6. A spinner had 8 sections, 3 green, 2 blue, 1 yellow, and 2 white, which best describes the probability of landing on blue or white. So I've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The chances of landing on a blue are 2 out of 8. Chances of landing on a white are also 2 out of 8. So they are equally likely. When rolling one die with numbers 1 through 6, what is the probability of landing on a prime or odd number? Well, let's list the prime numbers. 2 is a prime number, 3 is a prime number, 5 is a prime number. Remember, we're listing 1 through 6. But it also, so we've done the prime numbers, it also says odd. So 1 is also included because 1 is an odd number. So I've got 6 sides to the die, and 4 of those are prime or odd, so 4 out of 6, or 2 out of 3. Sandy has a pair of jeans, a pair of khaki cargo shorts, a blue t-shirt, a green t-shirt, sneakers, and sandals. What are the total number of outfits for 1 pair of pants, 1 shirt, and 1 type of shoe? So I'm going to start with the pants, and I've put abbreviations up here to make it easier. I'm going to create a tree diagram, so that's going to be my trunk, the pants, and then I've got 2 types of shirts. I've got a blue t-shirt and a green t-shirt. So each type of pants gets the 2 t-shirts. And then there are 2 types of shoes that she could wear. So I'm going to branch those off of my t-shirts. And we've got sneakers and sandals. So in this, if we're looking at the outcomes, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 possible outcomes. Excuse me. I've already set this problem up vertically. Remember, when you are adding or subtracting decimals, you want to line up the decimals because you want to line up the decimal places. I need to put a 0 here for a placeholder. I can't subtract 4 from 0, so I borrow. And I'm going to trade for 10 hundredths, so 4 from 10 is 6. Can't subtract 5 from 3, so I borrow here. I get that an 8. 5 from 13 is 8. 6 from 8 is 2, and 0 from 7 is 7. So there's my answer. And then multiplying here, remember when you're multiplying decimals, you just set up the problem as if you were multiplying a whole number. So I'm going to put the decimals, but I'm going to disregard them until I get my answer. So let's distribute the 1. 1 times 6, 1 times 2, and 1 times 3. I'm going to distribute the 2, but I need my 0 here. 2 times 6 is 12. 2 times 2 is 4. Carry the one that I carried is 5, and 2 times 3 is 6. And then add. And then I've got 2 decimal digits in my problem, so I need 2 in my answer, and there's what it'd be. There's where the decimal would be. If I look at this and I use number sense, 30 times 2 is 60, so I know my answer's got to be somewhere close to 60, which this is. Number 11 has a division problem. The first number I could subtract 71 from is 312. I already have my think bubble here. I rounded that to 70. Here's my basic math fact, 7 and 31. 7 times 4 is 28, so 70 times 4 is 280. So let's check that. And that looks like that's going to work, so I'm going to put a 4 here and subtract my 284. Check, 28 is less than 71, bring down, and I see that this is 287, this was 284, so I know 4 is going to work, and I've already done the work. So I'm just going to put the 284 here again and subtract. I check, this is less than this, I have a number above the last number, nothing to bring down, so I have my 2 yeses and a no, and there is my answer. Arrange from greatest to least. And I already have my decimal equivalents for these fractions. If you forgot that 2/3 is 6 repeatedly, or that 1/8 is 125 thousandths, I've shown you over here how to change 2/3 into a decimal and how to change 1/8 into a decimal. And I've got 3 digits here, so I want to have 3 digits for my others. I'm going to add a 6 here and 2 zeros. So now I can go ahead and arrange from greatest to least, and this is my greatest number, which happens to be 2/3, and then this is my next largest number, because I'm looking my apples to apples, if you remember that, and then this is my next number, and then 19 hundredths, and then 1/8. So these are my numbers arranged from greatest to least. I'm subtracting here, and I've already got it set up vertically. I can't subtract 6/8 from nothing, so I need to borrow. And I traded the one that I borrowed for 8/8. And there's no fraction here, so I can just put that 8/8 right there in that spot. So now I can subtract 6/8 from 8/8, which is 2/8. And 6 from 9 is 3. I have an even number here, so I know that's not in simplest form. I'm going to divide by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Bring my whole number over. So 3 1/4 is the answer. A bag has two blue tiles, one red tile, and one yellow tile. Mark the point on the probability line for selecting a yellow tile. Well, there's 2, 3, 4 total outcomes, and only one is yellow. If you remember, that equals 2,500, so here's where I would mark my spot. Number 15 I already have set up vertically, and I don't have common denominator, so I know 8 is my least common denominator. Since that doesn't change, the numerator doesn't change, I'll bring that over. 4 times 2 is 8, so 3 times 2 is 6, and bring my whole number. I go ahead and add 6 eighths and 5 eighths is 11 eighths, and 5 and 4 is 9. But I'm not done because I see that's a mixed number, and I have to change that into an improper fraction by dividing 11 by 8. 8 goes into 11 one whole time, which I'm going to add to that 9, so that gives me 10. And I have 3 left over, and I put the 3 over, oops, I'll try to make that a neater 8. So 10 and 3/8. Create a sample space in chart form of all combinations for one session and one course. So I start with my session 1, and I've got art history, and then session 1 and consumer math, and session 1 and music theory. So I'm done with session 1. Now I do session 2 and art history, session 2 and consumer math, and session 2 and music theory. And then I'm done with session 2, so I go on to session 3 and art history, session 3 and consumer math, and session 3 music theory. So those are my outcomes in list form of all possible combinations. Make a tree diagram for all combinations of movie snacks and one drink. So I'm going to start with my drinks to be my trunk of my tree, and I've abbreviated for each. And then each drink has 3 possible snacks, so popcorn, nachos, and Reese's. Popcorn, nachos, and Reese's. And the lemonade, popcorn, nachos, and Reese's. So those are my total outcomes, and you would read that like this way: Coke and popcorn, Coke and nachos, Coke and Reese's, and you do the others that way as well.